Alright, hi everyone, Joey V from GeekWatch here. Welcome back to the Hell Yeah, Wrath of the Undead Rabbit full play. This is episode 2, and we are currently in the factory stage, and we are working our way through. I think we've killed 7 monsters thus far. Well on our way to 101. And now here, Nestor is telling us how we upgrade our guns and how we switch between them. So now we have a machine gun and a rocket launcher. And I think I have some derps in this one, but I forget. But yeah, as you can see, as I said last time, there's a lot going on in these backgrounds. They are dense and action-packed, which is really cool, but I think that slows the game down in certain spots, but oh no, I suck so bad. Checkpointing is pretty good. It's usually at a door or the last time you healed. So, and there is an RPG element, and I can't cut through metal. I can only cut through flesh. So yeah, so you're controlling your movement, but you're also, and then you're using the gun as a dual joystick shooter, but you do have to hit a button to make it shoot. So it gets kind of complicated in spots. Like I found it to be especially complicated when I was like trying to jump and shoot at the same time. Like I felt like I had to like really pay attention and kind of like switch my arms. And be like, and like, instead of my left hand moving, it would be like my right hand would move. And it was kind of complicated, but you eventually get through it.
Honey, I'm home.
So this mini game is you have to steal a bunch of honey before the bees see you. In this case, the mechanical bees. And then you sick mechanical bees on the boss. It's like if you're not having a seizure looking at the screen, I don't know. I think I just had a seizure just looking at it. So, drill-proof shields, armor-piercing bullets. This place is rather alarming to parents. Kelsey was actually a really cool guy. If he has to play, he almost certainly would have gone out of his way to get away. Like, there's just like some of the monsters, they're just like, dude, he was a dick. Or sometimes it's like, dude, he was a nice guy. Why'd you have to go and kill him? It's pretty great. So yeah, I mean, the levels are cool. Eventually you upgrade your saw so that you can get through some of like the more dense material. Like you can go through this stuff, but there's another different form that you can't get through just yet. You can also eventually go underwater diving. They take you out of the saw and you have to go do more traditional platforming. There's sections where you do like a sniper game. There's a lot of weird stuff coming up. So, and then here's an example of sometimes you just can't kill the guy. You can't kill the guy by yourself. You have to like kind of use almost, I want to say, divine intervention. So this guy's just waiting for a party, and you drop a fucking thing on him. Happy birthday! It's pretty ridiculous. Did I mention this game's ridiculous? Well, it is. So yeah, it gets pretty awesome. And like I said, it's one of those games where you can definitely just play this in one shot. Or it would be a good thing to just be like, okay, like I'm gonna play through this area, or I'm gonna play through half of this area. I'm just gonna open this door, you know. I'm gonna get to X amount of monsters, because each level is pretty good about having like 3 to 4 monsters in it. So, you know, early on to get through an area, you only have to get to like 5 monsters in each area. Like, it's not even a big deal. But then towards the end of the game, you know, you're killing 10 monsters in a level. Some explosives that eventually you have to use. In this case, a void, which I don't. What, like, the thing that I would love to talk to someone from the studio. I believe it's Arkido. It's like this game was published by Sega, so like, Sega doesn't do it often, but sometimes they just make some weird games, and they just do not apologize for it. They're just like, oh yeah, this is a weird game we made, or we, you know, published. So like, I would just love to see the game designers like in a process of being like, oh yeah, this is what this monster's gonna look like. Like how insane does that have to be? I can only imagine. Or like I was looking at the credits. There is a guy whose entire job was to come up with the death animations and like how you would dispatch of these people. Like, it's crazy. Oh good, the panda machine is happy. So here is the other side of the game. You may now visit the island, a world of opportunity, mostly for you. Every time you kill a monster, they go to the island, and at the island they have to work for you. And while they're there at the island, they will work on getting you new items, new customizations, new improved health, or just straight up money. So now we're gonna go check out the island. The island is a really cool idea. There's I'll show it to you first, and then I'll give you some of my pros and cons of it. Welcome to the island. Here you'll find all the monsters you, let's say, met in the game. Monsters are lazy. Make them work for you. I think this is so funny. So, and the other cool thing is that you can get all of the storylines of the monsters while you're here on the island, and you can also get their demon name and their name from in real life. So like here, yeah, you can see his name, his Earth name, and his actual storyline. Same thing with all this. It's pretty cool. So yeah, they're just hanging out on the island, having fun. Done the same way he lived, looking ridiculous. So basically, you can assign each one to different jobs. You don't get finite control. Like, it's not so far as like, oh well, this monster that you killed is really good at X. I think that would have been an amazing level of detail on this, because as it is, kind of what you do is you just go, okay, put 5 here, put 5 there, and go. Eventually you get to the point where it's like, okay, I have 10 in each, I have 20 in each. So, and the other thing that's weird about the island is that I think it's a really cool idea, but the only time that you can access the island is from the main menu. So it's like, if you want to mess around with it, then you have to like exit the game, go to the island, and then go back into the game. Right here is the beach area. When monsters are depressed, you send them there so that they can go have a drink and play by pool. Here's a bunch of the monsters going to work in the mines, looking for money. It's just so ridiculous. It's so goofy. Like, they're just going to work in the mines. There's a tower where if a monster is being angry, you take them to the tower to humiliate them, and that will get them back on the track to working. Up here is where they research new ways to get you health, which is you burn them and throw them into TVs and put them in a blender. Like, it's really stupid. This whole thing is really, really stupid. So yeah, those are my 2 complaints. I think it would have added a really cool level of depth, that some monsters were good at some things and that you had to strike a balance of like putting them on certain things. Like something like, these monsters are good at this, but they don't like working with these kinds of monsters. Like, that would have been amazing. But it would have added so much lines of code that I think they would have gone insane and would have made this game a lot bigger in size. And to be fair, their load times are already ridiculous. And you may see it at some point during all of these load times that there's like a one that's just like, it's something like, you think these load times are long? Well, screw you. like we don't have too many workers. Something stupid like that. It's funny. It's really funny. So yeah, if I feel like if they added that level of customization, that would have been cool. And then also, it was annoying the fact that I could only get to it from the main menu. It would have been really cool if I could have gotten to it at any time. But I guess since they weren't putting that level of depth into it, that it really didn't matter. The island is like a fun little side thing that doesn't make or break the game. If it was a more important thing, then you could probably then they probably would have made the decision that you could get to it quicker. But alas. So that's all. I just wished I had more reason to go see the island, just because it's so stupid and I really wanted to see more of it. But that is quite alright. So yeah, so now we just continue along in the factory. The factory again is, like I said, is a little bit longer than I believe the first level is the Hell Volcano. But not like each level gets a little bit longer, but this one still isn't that long. And yeah, all of this takes place in Hell, so there are just different areas of Hell, apparently. Which, you know, makes sense, but this is definitely, I don't think this is the 7 layers that that Dante was thinking of when he wrote the Inferno. But nonetheless, pretty cool.
Insert coin.
Oh, I do like this one. This one's fun. First he gets hit by the invaders, and then gets hit by the defenders. Like I said, I think they were just very clever with a lot of these. I wonder if they tune up the nose after a while, or if you just go insane. You know, and the storyline, like I said, it never gets really crazy, or like, you know, I shouldn't say really crazy. It's always crazy, but it never gets really deep or anything like that. But I mean, that's not the game that you're playing. Yeah, right here was trying to fiddle with everything. That was good, kind of hard. So, and I think the level design is pretty clever. I think it's good. I think they were good with their map use. I very rarely found myself getting lost. I did find myself on certain occasions, and this will come up at certain points during the playthrough, of just not knowing what they wanted me to do to dispatch of an enemy. Because they have a lot of enemies that, like, you can't kill by conventional means. You have to do something ridiculous. And it's one of those things where, like, at the beginning of the game, it was like, oh, if you hit R1, you can like expand the view. You can pause the game and expand the view. That gets kind of useful towards the end, but not super useful. But like that becomes like how you solve certain issues. Like that's how you get rid of certain demons. And it's like that doesn't really make sense, but I do appreciate the fact that they make this joke of like, so wait, let me get this straight. He's got an impenetrable armor that I can't shoot through and I can't saw through, but he decides to open himself up to attack every so often. I don't get this. And then I think his like bio is pretty much something to that point.
Let's crush.
So I think it's just clever that they make fun of the stereotypical like platforming and video game like story arcs and boss behaviors. I just think that's funny. Check. Impenetrable armor? Check. Inexplicable tendency to open up aforementioned armor at regular, predictable intervals to allow enemies a free shot inside. Man, bad guys are stupid. It's really great. You know, it's one of those things where I don't think this game sold particularly well. But I really think it's one of those just like really clever games that people would enjoy. And hopefully, you know, hopefully it becomes kind of like a cult classic, because it has that kind of tendency written all over it, just the way it's presented. You know, like this is not going to appeal to everyone. But that's okay. Again, it's one of those things where that I appreciate the fact that Sega did this, because Sega was really known for a really long time for that kind of randomness. And you can see me here just being like, what the fuck is that for? Eventually, when you get later in the game, that's where you teleport to different areas, which made sense because I was just like, and you get to watch me fail a little bit here because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Another little minor quip is that they do this thing where the checkpoints are generous, but like you'll see, like every time I do this, I have to go see like, hey, look, it's that guy. And if there's dialogue, they will make sure that I read all of that dialogue, like every time. So that's kind of annoying. The monster trucks minigame is pretty funny, just for the end result, really. Not hard, but then you get this. Like, this game is ridiculous, and it, like I said, it really embodies that feel of WarioWare. So if you guys have not played WarioWare, or you have, if you haven't played WarioWare, you really should. It's a fantastic game. There's WarioWare for the DS. There's WarioWare for the Wii. I would recommend the one for the Wii. I think it's really good. I think it's one of the best implementations of the Wiimote ever. It's just one of those games that was just so good, and it's a fantastic party game on the Wii. And not only is it a fantastic party game on the Wii, but you only need one Wiimote to do all of it. No matter how many, you can play with upwards of, I want to say, there's a game mode where you can play with upwards of like 12 people, and it doesn't matter. I get this right. This death animation is so over the top. Like 3, 2, 1. You just like orbitally bombard it. So yeah, WarioWare was just fantastic, and it's just one of those games that every time I've ever played it, I have laughed hard and enjoyed my time with it. So it's just fantastic. It comes highly recommended. I can't recommend it enough, actually. So to me, the fact that Hell Yeah, going back to this game, would be like, okay, we want to be a platformer, we want to be crazy, and we want to have the mini games of WarioWare, and we want to have crazy boss battles like every few minutes. Like, that sounds like a fantastic idea. And it's really, I think it's really smart. Piggy! Bleh. Oh man. it's a crazy game. And but yeah, I would really love to know like how they came up with their monster design. I would love to see their sketches and the stuff that didn't make it into the game. That's what I want to see. You can see me trying to figure out like it's time for a new hat. The one thing that they don't have a lot of is skins for your buzzsaw. Like you can turn into axes, you can turn into a donut, you can turn into a duck. I found that like there was nothing better than the look. Like I bought the skins, but I really didn't like any of them. The duck seems funny, but I don't know, it loses something for me. So I mean, at this point, I'm just buying bullshit, even though I'm not going to use it. So. And the heads don't do anything either. That like again, if you want to add a level of customization, you could do some weird stuff with like this is the helmet that you have, and this is the way that your axe blade looks. Like they could have done some really crazy stuff that way, but you know, it's a lost opportunity, but it's not like the worst. So not too bad. But yeah, like you can see, there's like a million like hats, but there's 9 of the saw blades. So you know, it's kind of sad, but not the world's biggest problem. And I think there is downloadable content that can add more. I think it's like $1 for PlayStation Plus members. And there's also there's a downloadable content for more missions. There's like a mission structure in this, so that's beyond the kill the 101 demons. The missions are like, I almost want to say like they're trials. They're like the VR training in Metal Gear, or like how quickly can you get these 15 coins? How quickly can you get through this obstacle course? They're interesting, but I usually don't like stuff like that. Like if you're gonna have a mission structure, have a mission structure. That to me does not excite me. That just, I don't know, it's not lazy or anything. It's just not something that I enjoy. So it's an addition. But yeah, like if their thing is like, oh, we made DLC, like we made more of these like kind of like arbitrary missions, like that's not something I'm interested in. If they had added more monsters, I'd be totally in. I would love that. So I get a little lost here. This is me not like, yeah, that I don't know how to read the map yet, because I should know that I can't cut through that yet. You actually can't cut through that until close to the end of the game. It takes a long time. You can eventually cut through that, or you can get a shotgun that goes through it. But yeah, it takes you a while before you can do any of that. So they pretty much are trying to like force you to find a new way to do that. So it's like, oh, you gotta get to this boss, and there's no foreseeable way, so you better go around the map and find a new way. So not too bad, but there's a few secret areas like this. Most of them are worth it, but hottest action is taking place with the map button. So I also kind of like the music. I kind of like this slow jam right here. There is some ridiculous music coming up for each. Like, I don't want to say that each level gets more and more ridiculous, because they don't. But there are some ridiculous levels that are just insane. And then I don't know how people died to this guy.
Beam Blaster on.
because it seems pretty simple to me. Let's go up to him, shoot him. Roosevelt Gradius. So, yeah, it is a very silly game, but I really enjoyed it. So, hopefully someone out there will feel inspired and be like, hey, let's try this game out. Because I would really like to. I wouldn't like to see a sequel to this, perhaps, but I would really like to see them this company do more. Because they took a risk. They did a new IP. They did. And they I feel like they really bought into the format. They made a solid game that really shines in a downloadable format and looks good, has some good music. It's a game that people should enjoy. I don't know where I'm going. Where are you going? What are you doing? Oh no. Yeah. Do I figure this out? Yeah, I figure this out. It's like Joe. Yeah, this is me trying to figure. You know what's funny? I had actually never noticed the mission on the other side. That's where the missions are. I had actually never noticed it before. So it's me trying to get in, but. Alas. But yeah, it's a really fun game. It was a fun game for my wife Katie to watch, just to be like, what are you guys? What are you doing now? What ridiculous bullshit thing are you doing? And every time she would be surprised at just what ridiculousness was happening on the screen. But she was laughing, during most of it. So it was definitely fun. Oh no, who's shell? I can't get through it.
Fire starter.
Oh no! I love how he says toasted. The soundbite is toasted, but his thought bubble says roasted. It's pretty good. It's Sheldon. Sheldon. The door is opened. So yeah, this will bring us to the end of this episode. It'll bring us to the end of this this level. We're gonna go to Zone 3, and guys, come back tomorrow, and we'll be killing more monsters, and we will also, I believe, we're gonna be in the jail section, and we'll also be killing a new boss. So so come join us for that. It'll be a lot of fun. And as always, please like, subscribe, tell your friends about this, and don't forget to leave comments on what you would like to see for future full plays or what you think about the game. So until then, guys, see you later. Have a good one.